Morning to all. Am I audible? Yeah. And thanks, Ma'am Lalta, for your kind words. I genuinely feel humbled. Also, I want to extend my thanks to Library Professionals Association for providing me with this opportunity. I have been given the responsibility to talk about re-engineering challenges into opportunities for managing smart academic libraries. And now I am going to share my screen so that you all it is showing the host has disabled the screen sharing. Please, anyone technical assistance, please enable this. Let me share my screen. Technical assistance, please. I hope my screen is visible to all the participants. The layout of my presentation is very simple. I'm starting my presentation with the little management story tortoise, and then we will proceed to why libraries are facing challenges. And the next agenda will be how libraries are re-engineering challenges into opportunities. Since lockdown, you people must be listening to professional talks many a time. So then I thought to have a different view of this presentation, and we will start with the management story about rabbit and tortoise. It's a small motivational story. We all have heard about the story of the rabbit and the tortoise, but today I am going to narrate this with a few twists. Hope you people will enjoy. A tortoise and a rabbit had an argument about who the faster runner was. They decided to settle the argument with a race. As the race started, the rabbit ran briskly for some time. Realizing that he is far ahead of the tortoise to catch up with him, he decided to seek shelter under a tree and relax. As he sat under the tree, he gradually fell asleep. Tortoise, crawling at a steady pace, eventually overtook him and won the race. The rabbit woke up and realized that he has lost his trophy. Moral of this part of the story is the tortoise faced a Herculean task that was quite literally impossible. His opponent was the fastest and he was the slowest. The race seemed to be over even before it started, but the tortoise was motivated. The determined, hardworking, and steady paced people will eventually overtake the fast but complacent. The story is continuing. Second part of the story says the rabbit realized that he was overconfident, complacent, and took things too easily. Then he decided to have a rematch with the tortoise. The tortoise accepted the challenge. This time, the rabbit ran with all his might and didn't stop unless he crossed the finish line. Moral of this part of the story is fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. Next part of the story is another twist. Now the tortoise did the soul searching and realized that if that rabbit didn't stop, there is no way he will beat him. He thought hard and decided on a different course, and he challenged the rabbit to another rematch, to which the rabbit of course agreed. The tortoise had a strategy while deciding the course of the race. The rabbit, with the lessons learned from his previous failures in mind, the rabbit kept on running once the race started and didn't stop until the route leads him to the bank of a river. There was no bridges in sight and no one to ask for direction. He kept on thinking the ways to cross the river. He didn't know what to do since he couldn't swim. Slowly, the tortoise strolled and he dived into the river, swam across it, and ultimately finished the race before the rabbit. The moral of this part is know your strength and take on your competitors in area of your core competency. The story doesn't end here. Next part is that with the rabbit and the tortoise spending so much time together racing, they had become rather good friends. They have also developed mutual respect for one another as they realize that they are both different and they have different strengths. They decided to race again, but this time as a team. As the race started, the rabbit carried the tortoise and they sped to the river bank, where they switched positions and the tortoise ferried the rabbit across the river. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the tortoise and crossed the finishing line together. They completed the race in a record time, which both of them could never achieve if they were to do it alone. Moral of this part of the story is it's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competences, but unless you are able to work in a team and harness each other's core competences, you will always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you will do poorly and someone do else well. So it's always better to make a team and perform well. So story ends here. Take away from this story is it's important that neither the rabbit nor the tortoise gave up after failure. It's very important. No one gave up. The rabbit decided to work harder and put in more effort after his failure. The tortoise changed his strategy because he was already working as hard as he could, but he was not doing as well as he wished. So he was working hard, but he was not performing well because everyone has its lacking. Imagine how long it would take the rabbit to learn how to swim or for the tortoise to learn how to run fast. In this day and age, when the environment changes at the lightning speed, we have to learn to work with people who have strength in areas that we don't have. In same profession, if we can collaborate with people who are experts in the areas that we are not familiar with, we will realize that our competences have enhanced. Maybe that is where globalization is after all. Now coming back to our topic of re-engineering challenges into opportunities for smart academic libraries, let's look into the situation prevailing in the libraries. Libraries are considered as the heart of any academic institution. Smart academic libraries are not merely storehouses of the information. Being the center of the intellectual life, the libraries are playing a pivotal role to perform the function of informing and inspiring users in becoming more knowledgeable. In fact, the libraries are transforming the way the users used to discover the requisite information. World is changing and changing very fast. Change seems to be come at the speed of light, maybe even faster. No doubt, change is pervasive and there is no end to it. What we library professionals are facing is change in our professional duties. What are the various catalysts of change? It's the computer, the internet, the globalization, financial revolution, management and labor, social media. We all seem to be global. We are all connected with each other. ICT, information and communication technology, has triggered a sea change in the ways the information is created, stored, retrieved, and disseminated. Internet is becoming the most dependable media of communication. Changes occurring in the libraries are fast and robust. Success in managing smart libraries require learning as fast as the world is changing. We are all facing challenges. What kind of challenges do we facing in the libraries? It's rapid technological innovations, comprise new product and processes that are emerging. We all keenly observe next best thing appearing in the market. Declining library budgets, we all know. Continuing emergence of new media formats. Libraries are witnessing emergence of new media formats since late 1980s or early 1990s. Focus is shifting from print to electronic media. Explosive growth and use of web resources. Changing users' information seeking behavior and habits. Users are so tech savvy that they want to access whole library on their mobile devices. Challenges regarding technological upgradation. New technologies keep on coming, and if you are not opting for upgradation, you can't reap the benefits of the technology. Being obsolete is the flip side of the change. So one has to upgrade technology continuously. Other challenges are challenges regarding IT skilled manpower. They have to be competent technologically. And then we are facing challenges of user service. Before moving further, let's understand what a challenge is. A challenge is something that puts an individual to the test. Actually, a challenge is a demanding task that an individual wishes to overcome. It has certain opportunities are always part of any change, but only for those who have reason to see fault and dare to evolve accordingly. So that's how we can change the challenge into opportunity. In my view, the bigger the challenge, the bigger is the opportunity. So for turning the challenges into opportunities, we must apply the principle of re-engineering. And what re-engineering is? Re-engineering is redesigning the process and its associated system to achieve improvement in the performance. It applies the concepts of restructuring, reorganizing, and applications of technology. It allows proper exploitations of resources and utilization of technology for achieving the desired results. Actually, it's quest for the survival in unknown and highly volatile future, which nobody knows. How can we turn challenges into opportunities? Any change in tends to carry certain opportunity embedded in the challenges. Vigilance and willingness is required to foster technological innovation into opportunities. Libraries are not leaving any stone unturned to understand their users who are not only tech savvy, but also becoming very demanding. It's through the sheer determination the library turning adversities into opportunities and has emerged triumphant in many situations. Now we all discuss many such situations where one seems very difficult, but with the application of technology, these have been emerged as very user-friendly. We face the challenge of hybrid collections. The information is available in myriad formats like print material, non-print material, and multimedia learning kits. And it may be packed in multifarious packing. Users feel lost in ocean of information where finding pertinent information seemed impossible. And what the libraries have found opportunity in this, because of the availability of many libraries are using library management software. OPAC acts as a user's tool for interactive information retrieval and bridges the gap between him and the information. OPAC is just online public access catalog, which is an electronic version of the card catalog. It is simply a computerized catalog, which can be articulated as a bibliographic database of the holdings of a library collection. It could be available on a LAN or World Wide Web. It is usually searchable by author, title, call number, accession number, keyword, and it helps to locate both the physical as well as electronic material. The challenge then we faced was the content management. In the present scenario, academic libraries are facing two major threats: global digital environment and availability of information in numerous forms. Digital resources are being added to library collections at exponential rates. And libraries are doing extensive work to make digital resources available without the need for the individuals to enter the library complex. The access and utility of these resources will depend on how effectively the library system is making these available for their users. Opportunity we found in the form of library website. It's an excellent platform to make users aware about all the acquired resources. It acts as a tool in consolidating and repackaging information in a single platform. It provides both an informative and functional element with regard to general information and specific rules of the library. We can utilize library website many ways. Next challenge which we faced was scattered information and various resources. If because of the availability of e-resources through varied platform, users neither have time nor the patience for visiting a number of different websites or platforms. Dr. Ranganathan's fourth law of library science, save the time of the reader, has become more significant and relevant in the present scenario, where we are transitioning from information, transiting towards the information. And if we have to serve our users in a digital age effectively and efficiently, we have to save precious time of the user by making multiple resources searchable through a single interface. The idea is to offer a way to search all the available resources that are accessible under diverse access platforms. They are made accessible through a single access point, irrespective of their mode of access. And the opportunity in this is web scale discovery. There are mechanisms which has been devised to organize e-resources into single gateway to disseminate comprehensive and customized information to users in a right way makes sense to them. We have opportunities in the form of web scale discovery service and federated. Both facilitate single search box fetching multiple sources. Web scale discovery service is the state-of-the-art technology, which is basically based on pre-harvested metadata from the vast collection of resources, whereas federated search allows users to submit a real-time search in parallel to multiple information sources and retrieve results. Next challenge came in the form of seamless access to e-resources. Most of the e-resources are subscribed by the library on annual lease basis, and because of the standard de facto mode of licensing, access to these databases is activated through IP address authentication. These journals can be accessed within campus premises only, defying the ideal situation of 24/7 access. Library users need easy access to all the library resources, no matter where they are. Then comes a rescue, remote access. There is a need of a system that can manage remote online access to licensed content without multiple sign-in requirements. To cater to this need, remote authentication software allows library to deliver e-content simply and effectively with a single sign-on. It allows users to access e-content they need without the hassle of remembering various passwords and logins, thus enabling easy and secure access to information they need. Next challenge we were facing is user statics of e-resources. Reliable online usage statistics are required by the library professionals to ascertain how subscribed content is being used and by whom, which articles are being read and in which disciplines. These statistics are quite useful in allocation of budgets to various departments and retrieval of renewal of e-resources for further years. And then we have the opportunity in the form of counter reports. Counter stands for continuing online usage of networked electronic resources. These reports provide standards for recording and reporting of online usage statistics for consistency, credibility, and compatibility among vendors. These stats could be represented to authorities for taking approvals. Challenge we faced is security of library material. Security of the materials owned by a library is its top priority. Earlier, when no security system were in place, many collections were in closed access, and students must request materials for use. So, all this defies the Dr. Ranganathan's first law of library science, that books are for use. The idea of open access for library material is successful when the security of the material is ensured. Opportunity came in the form of radio frequency identifier. RFID technology is a technology that consists of tiny tags which uses radio waves to identify people or objects automatically. We will not go into technical it is involved here, but just to put it simply, a tag is put on any library object which further is used for identification and tracking. Challenge was faced about the misplaced print books. Another problem which most of the libraries are facing is user usually misplace the book. They took it from one shelf and keep it in another shelf. Such situations frustrates the staff as well as user because the other users are unable to find the book at the right place. And it is rightly said that a misplaced book is lost forever. Opportunity came in the form of RFID PDA. PDA is personal digital assistant. It is a cordless handheld device that instantly reads RFID tags on library materials, and it can turn shelf reading, shelving, sorting, searching, reading, and exception finding into routine tasks. It can hold information on more than 1 million items. This is a pic of the library PDA, personal digital assistant. This personal digital assistant also help in auto shelf rectification. It is important for improving library performance and user experience. User feel happy if they find the books at their proper place. Next challenge we faced is scholarly communication and open access. Quality of a library is reflected by the quality of its intellectual output. What is our research output in the form of thesis and dissertation, research papers, patent, etc. The fruits of research, especially thesis and the dissertation, are underutilized, as the access of print thesis and dissertation are limited to guide or their students and a few researchers. And then opportunity we can avail is in the form of institutional repository, which is a database with a set of service to capture, store, index, preserve, and redistributing an institution's scholarly research in a digital format. It consists of formally organized and managed collection of digital content generated by faculty, staff, and students at an institution or university. It's like a showcase of your research output to the outside world. And it's on the prerogative of the library institution to decide whether they want to put institutional repository on LAN or World Wide Web. Various software packages are available to build an IR like CDS software, DSpace, ePrints, Fedora, Greenstone, etc. Then challenge we faced is costly computing hardware. Libraries are using computers for running services such as library management software, website portals, digital library, or institutional repository. These are either maintained by parent organization's computer staff or by library staff. It involves investment of hardware, software, and staff to maintain these services and undertake backup and upgrade as and when new version of the software gets released. So all this scenario comes to be very dearer to the pocket. Opportunity came in the form of cloud computing. Cloud computing is a type of computing that relies on sharing computing resources rather than having local server or personal devices to handle applications. Cloud computing contains features of different technologies, including utility computing, grid computing, unified computing, Web 2.0, service-oriented architecture, and so on. Cloud computing is use of the internet for computing needs. There are so many forms of using this technology. For example, use of application software, storing data, sharing of the servers, etc. Challenge came in the form of finding the related information. Just have experience, while browsing on the library shelf, sometimes the user see a book and become curious about the related books on that topic, or otherwise he can look for all the book written by the same author which he was searching. Then he has to move to a pack to search for this, which is very time consuming and sometimes it's frustrating also. How the ICT helps us? It's in the form of augmented reality. With the help of augmented reality, apps can be created to link various items and give the users a feel of actually browsing the OPAC. The user can point their cameras of smart devices on the book, and he can be guided what all rated books are available in this library, or he can be guided which more books are written by the same author and things like that. Another challenge is in the form of physical space. Libraries are developing as a place to collect, access, and preserve print collections. But smart libraries are being hybrid libraries, and they maintain both print as well as electronic collections. Now, the libraries are changing to meet the needs of their users. Staff face the challenge of finding space for the modern uses while still accommodating ever-growing collection of books and other material. What are the modern uses of the library? Libraries are acting as activity hubs. They are supporting many activities of the users of the institute. These activities could be providing space for conducting online tests during the placement session, or providing discussion room to the users for some brainstorming. It could be in the form of cafes for the relaxation of the users. And the opportunity here is library space saver, because a well-designed storage system supports and reinforces a library's mission. Library shelving is often one of the primary considerations as the planning process. The right shelving and compact shelving systems can boost the free space for a variety of modern uses, including meeting rooms, computer workstations, cafes, and other spaces. Here is a pic of the compactors. There you can see these are the compactors are the in fact shelf. They move on a railing, and we can adjust their uh, space between the shelves so that they are more convenient to the users to use, and it's also sometimes dust free. It keeps the material dust free. Now, the next challenge is combating plagiarism. Plagiarism has emerged as one of the most troublesome issues bothering academia. It's an act of fraud involving both stealing someone else's idea and lying about it afterwards. Opportunity came in the form of anti-plagiarism software. As the internet has helped to provide easy access to information, it has also been endowed with some tools to detect plagiarism. What best can the internet for our help? These are the software that searches the web or other such resources for duplicate textual contents. Uh, Software which could help us in detecting plagiarism is could be the Turnitin and Urkund. These are two good software. Next challenge is in the form of scattered open access content. Open access refers to freely available digital online information. It's a scholarly literature is free in open access and it carries less restrictive copyright and licensing barrier than traditionally published book for both the users and the authors. Opportunity came in the form of National Digital Library. It is a project of the MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development, to develop a framework of virtual repository of learning resources with a single search facility. It offers access to a total of about 1.70 crore books, periodicals, journals, and theses to learners of all ages free of cost. Filtered and federated searching is employed to facilitate focused searching so that learners can find out the right resource with least effort and in minimal time. NDLI is designed to hold content of any language and provides interface support for reading vernacular languages. Currently, Hindi, Bengali, and 9 other languages are available. It's designed to provide support for all academic levels, including researchers and lifelong learners, all disciplines, all popular forms of access devices, and also for differently abled learners. Next challenge came in the form of we have acquired all the material, but their promotion and interaction is very important. Acquisition and storage of electronic material is not beneficial without effective use is made to them. It is therefore up to the librarian to give guidance to users so that services are fully utilized. And knowing is half the battle won. Users can't use the resources and services a library offers unless they know about them. Opportunity came in the form of application of Web 2.0 technologies and social media. The need of the hour is that libraries must do everything possible to understand their users who are not very tech savvy but also very demanding. Facebook is emerging as an alternate channel of communication. It can display new arrivals of the book, information regarding upcoming events, share photographs of events held in the library, and messages posted by both libraries and users. Next challenge came in the form of less manpower. We all are facing this problem. Libraries are always short of helping library staff for sorting the returned books. There is possibility of human error in replacing the book back to the designated places as per classification scheme. Then for our rescue came the Internet of Things. IoT is not only capable to influence any of the tasks but would have been impossible automatically earlier, but may also have the potential to do it more efficiently and securely, be it any mundane task. Some robotic devices controlled through the web related to RFID or to the Internet of Things are used already in many contemporary libraries. For instance, a book return system equipped with automatic sorter. When a user returns a book, the system detects it, confirms its acceptance, and then using special conveyor puts the book into the right bin that belongs to a certain department. Such kind of things are also uh, matlab, going to become normal after the post-lockdown period for the libraries to working as a precautionary measures. This is a pic of the book return station with an automatic sorter. Next challenge libraries facing is deep web. Parts of the World Wide Web where contents are not indexed by standard search web search engine. It is also known as invisible web or hidden web. Example of such contents include webmails, social media pages, or web forums, which requires registration for viewing content. It also includes such services which are protected by paywalls, that is, users have to pay to access these. Challenge is how to extract information deep from the web. Opportunity came in the form of meta search engine. A meta search engine is not technically a search engine, but a web portal which aggregates the web search result for a keyword or a phrase of many different search engines using a proprietary algorithm. It is therefore not necessary to use each search engine separately to obtain the search results you desire. Examples of metadata search engines include Metager, Metacrawler, Yabado, Dogpile, and Zoo. Next challenge we face is the research data. It is an information that has been collected, observed, generated, or created to validate original research findings. A lot of data is being generated in research projects, but it is very fragile and easily lost when it's kept in digital format. Also, it leads to duplication of efforts. Sometimes a project is working on a research group is working on a project and same data is required by the other research group. So there are growing research data requirements imposed by the funder and publishers. Opportunity came in the form of RDM services, research data management. It's an administrative process that includes acquiring, validating, storing, sorting, protecting, and processing required data to ensure the accessibility, reliability, and timeliness of the data for its users. Research data management saves time and resources in the long term. Good management helps to prevent errors and increase the quality of the analysis. Well-managed and accessible data allows others to validate and replicate findings. Research data management facilitates sharing of research data, and when shared, data can lead to valuable discovery by others outside the original research team. That is, the same data could be used by more than one research team. Next challenge is research requirements. Academic libraries are playing significant roles in supporting research since centuries. But present scenario is witnessing a sea change in relationship between the researchers and the libraries. Technological developments and the accessibility of electronic information resources have changed both how research is done and the service that are being provided by the academic libraries to their research community. Both researchers and librarians are exploring the benefits of latest technologies and innovations have brought and adopting rapidly to exploit the potential to the fullest. Opportunities, research support services. Library must opt for the research support services to help the researchers of their academic institutions. The research support could be in the form of language editor. These are to correct the grammatical errors in the manuscript. I have personal experience that it helps the users a lot, up to the researchers, especially when they have to get their articles published in the foreign journals. And even libraries can help in arranging external funding. At least they can guide their researchers uh, to how they can get, what are the sources where they can get funding for their projects. It can boost their research. Libraries can help in collaborating with national and international agencies which support the research. And next support it could be in the form of Journal Citation Report, JCR. It's a product of ISI, Web of Knowledge, and which is the authoritative resource for impact factor data. It provides impact factor and ranking of many journals, and it guides users to the best journal which they could publish in their subject discipline. Next, challenge is information literacy. A continuous interaction with user for feedback and information is must to maintain the standards of service. The conventional means of interaction such as meetings, suggestion boxes, surveys, and interviews are important. Use of new means of communication such as emails, web forms, bulletin boards, discussion forums, and listservs are also used for the handling of queries of the researchers. User education aspires to acquaint researchers to exploit the information sources and services to the full extent. It aims to equip researchers with the needed skills to enable them to make use of libraries and their resources in a friendly manner. Opportunity came in the form of online information literacy instruction. When we are using technology, then we can also provide information literacy instructions online. New generation users are privileged with the liberated access to information, so some vital skills and competencies are required for effective use of information. Information competence is the fusing or the integration of library literacy, computer literacy, media literacy, technological literacy, ethics, critical thinking, and communication skills. Due to complexities involved, availability of information in various formats through diverse interfaces via different software, there is an immense need of formal training in the form of instructions for accessing e-journals from sites of various publishers, guidance in locating documents using OPAC, searching online databases using Boolean truncation and other search techniques. Library professionals need to develop online information literacy modules for the benefit of the user. Next challenge is in the form of creating user awareness. Acquisition and storage of material is not beneficial if no effective use is made of them. It is therefore up to the librarian to give guidance to users so that their services are fully utilized. Users must be educated so that they are in a position to manipulate information sources to suit their information needs. And then we can have opportunity in the form of user awareness program. Libraries are such a complex system of vast and varied reading materials in themselves that it is difficult to understand them without instructions. Libraries should organize user orientation programs. This program could include lectures, library tools, and library brochures. We can also have virtual exhibitions. These are innovative ways to publicize the services of the library. It's a sort of network exhibition portal for connecting to the users by providing online events like seminars and conferences. Virtual exhibitions use 3D graphics, audio, and videos to replicate the feelings of attending the physical events without time and place restrictions. Another opportunity in this challenge could be the virtual library tools. It is very essential to make the user familiar not only with the physical layout of the building, but also associate them with the information resources and services available in the library. A web-based interactive, pictorial, and self-guided tour of the library can provide effective orientation in the institution where there are large number of users, making it impossible to make live tours to the library. Such a virtual tour helps users to explore the whole library while sitting at their desks. Next challenge is the complexities of the publisher's platform. The user sometimes is not familiar with the complexity involved in accessing the e-resources, and they do not know how to construct the best search strategy for each query. Due to complexities involved, availability of information in various formats through diverse interfaces via different software, there is an immense need of formal training. Opportunity, we can use the vendor presentations. Library can conduct vendor representation from time to time in forms of hand-on practice, system tutorials, peer instructions, outside trainers, and study of appropriate manuals or other documentation to facilitate the search scholars. Next challenge could be how to run the alert service. Every institution will generate some kind of information while performing its academic activities, which need to be circulated among the faculty, staff, students. A lot of paper is wasted in distributing such services, and sometimes such alerts reach late to the users. Opportunity could be in the form of digital signage. It's the display of information in the electronic form, usually on a video display or through a projector aimed at a screen or blank wall. Contents can take the form of still images, animation, web pages, or videos. In my library, we are using digital signage for the user to make aware of what our newly acquired books are. So users are very keen and they fully utilize this facility. Just before I conclude, I want to say it's the time for the survival of the fittest. Even in the lockdown period, due to because of the coronavirus, we all know that this is the best statement, survival of the fittest. Who is the one who is fit, who will survive this situation? And then librarians also have to rethink about their place in the scheme of things, which is witnessing the dominance Google It phenomena. In order to survive and prove their worth, we are required to sharpen skills, competencies, and to develop new skill set, which is wider and more diverse than ever before for offering enhanced services for the satisfaction of the user. To conclude, just think out of the box to bring out your own creativity, innovation, and great ideas so that you can help your user. Your survival is with your satisfaction of your user. Lastly, thanks everyone, Lalita ji, organizers, and all the participants for patient listening. If you have any questions, please, you can ask.
Thank you, Dr. Seema. You have elaborated each and every challenge and opportunities, how we can face these challenges in this era of technological advancement. And I hope everyone is satisfied with the presentation. If anyone have questions, they can ask from Dr. Seema. Any questions? Or they can send their request of questions to her.
हेलो, क्या हो गया मनु? किसी का वॉइस नहीं आ रहा. हेलो.
Now I am audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank you, Dr. Seema Vishisht, for the wonderful presentation. You have explained each and every aspect of the challenges and told about the opportunities and how to face these challenges as a teamwork, and given a good example of tortoise. And I know that every librarian, every user, they can work as a team to challenge, to assess the challenges of this. Any questions? Any questions?
Hello. Hello.
Any questions?
Yes, audible. Who's this? Please speak.
Hello, I'm Shobha Sharma from Jaipur.
Ji, Shobha ji.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yes.
Most welcome.
First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Seema. Can I ask a question for Seema?
Yeah, sure, ma'am, please.
Okay. How to respond to challenges and concern about library resources? Because of so many questions, same time library faces so many times. So how to respond to challenges and concern about library resources? Please.
I'm not getting how to please
How
repeat
to
your question.
respond? How to
respond to the
challenges and concern about library resources?
that's all which I it's about all the challenges we are facing in day-to-day life, and then these are the opportunity I have discussed.
Very useful and very nice PPT presentation. Please send the certificate last. Very nice and informative. Madam. Very nice presentation and informative.
Hello.
సార్ మీకు దాంతో ఇలాంటి ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈవెంట్